The force being...
Well, it's something. It's something, Bugsy. I'll give you that.
Speaking of the force being with us, I wonder if we can lure an Ewok up here.
Yeah, I see her down in the chat. I don't know if she has time tonight, but I'd happily send her a link if she'd like one. Hey, Tits. Good to see you. Checking convictions. Lip lock.
Hi, Tits. Hi,
Hey, Tits. I was hoping to have a little surprise for you this evening, but unfortunately time got away from me. So it'll have to happen another night.
Pearl is going to surprise our Tits.
Hey, Six.
Calm your tits. It's not ready yet.
Hi, Six Up.
Six Up. Congratulations on escaping Grift Island. Well played. I have to say, this weekend was hilarious. Was it Saturday night that Ziggy did Grift Island? I can't remember. All the days start to blur into one. But yeah, she was getting really, really annoyed. And yeah, did everybody notice that Heels in the Air was in there flashing money?
I saw that. She obviously didn't get that Six didn't want to be on the island because she was paying Ziggy to get rid of her.
No, that's what made it so special. It was particularly sweet that somebody was wasting their money to get Six exactly what she wanted, and they thought that they were being spiteful. It was just chef's kiss.
My whole thing with that was I thought that Hills in the Air was about calling out tragedy pimps.
Heels in the Air's consistency of thought seems to have long departed her. Not only is she happily throwing in with one of the major tragedy pimps just because she's got her nose put out of joint by Six Up, who, let's face it, was probably one of the least critical people about her and reached out to her first. But no, that's not good enough. Heels in the Air has now got a grudge going on. But if you saw the comments that she was making and the fact that she was throwing cash apps to do what she thought was upsetting towards Six Up, it wasn't. It was exactly the opposite. Then you would have no problem believing that this woman harassed the mothers of murdered black youth. No problem.
And then didn't Ziggy go on to say that we cheated? How can we cheat?
Yeah, apparently lots of
possible?
people. Oh, suddenly we created 100 new Google accounts.
Oh my God! And
because she's married to the idea, you see, that Six Up only has like 2 friends.
And then how about all the votes that Ziggy didn't record? How about all the people that she just hung up on? I mean, how is this? And then she said that people that voted to vote Six Up off cheated?
Just because it wasn't what she wanted. But those were her rules, and that's how the rules have to be. There have to be ways to vote without paying. And so we were just doing that. That's all. Call in.
Right, we weren't going to
on the community page. No.
That's what she considered cheating, the fact that the money wasn't coming in. That was the cheating aspect. And in fact, at one stage, she did actually start saying, if you sent me X amount of money, you would get X amount of votes, and you could guarantee that Six Up got off the island. It's sort of like, girl, you're working this hard for this little amount of money. Go and flip a burger. You'll be better off.
It seems like less effort.
People will do anything to get money except actually get a job.
But they put in so many more hours at conniving and thinking of ways to go around getting a job. It's amazing to me. You really would have more relaxing time on your hands if you just went to work.
Anyway, I had a fantastic time. It was hilarious. The people phoning in and getting cut off and blocked were hilarious. Special shout out to Lydie. Just everything about it was fun. And consequently,
Ziggy targeted Lydie.
Now taking it really badly, even though it was her decision Her decision to put Six up on the island and make a big deal out of it and say who's going to get fed to the sharks. And then when it didn't go her way, I don't know quite what way she wanted it to go, because I can't believe she wanted to keep Six up on the island either. She didn't want us to get off the island without money. That was the problem. When it didn't go her way, she then threw a fit. You decided on the game. You decided on the people who were on there in this particular episode. And then, because it didn't go your way, you've now got to be in your bonnet and you're trying to stir up trouble for Six Up. Leave it, Ziggy, if you've got any sense. I know you don't have any sense, so I don't know why I'm wasting my breath with that line of explanation. Just don't. The days when Six Up stood on her own are long behind her. If you want to start a whole load of trouble with a whole load of people, carry on. If you think that Molly, stirring up trouble with Molly, is going to get you anywhere, well, it's going to be as successful as that Saturday was. You might possibly get more money because Molly might throw you some, but it's too late really for me to hope that you'll develop any dignity at this stage. But, try it.
Dignity? She's still wearing the same clothes from 3 days ago.
The sofa cover? That dress?
Yes!
She looked like a 1980s couch, and she's loving it. She won't stop. Refuses to change, like a little 3-year-old that found a shirt it really likes.
Yes! Yeah.
I hope she sprayed some Febreze on it.
Is that what she uses for perfume?
I don't know. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm just finding the sofa. Carry on, girls.
So before we came live, I saw that Ziggy's other live got yanked down for, it said harassing and bullying.
Yeah. She calls us bullies.
Who was she harassing and bullying that YouTube took her video down?
She was bullying Benny again.
Oh, Benny.
Benny.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't give a damn about people talking about the warrants that Benny has got out. But the fact remains, there's a woman whose privacy and protection is being violated by Benny, and there's a child involved. And if you don't give a shit about Benny, which most of us don't, you might at least consider everything else that's going along with it. Especially as someone who's dedicated themselves to the whole protection order lifestyle. This person has a protection order for life. It's a serious deal. He's also obviously been involved in impersonating her in some way by creating a page. So, this is not something that she's just speculatively thrown up there. There are no warrants involved. So even if you've got no time for Benny, consider the fact that he's got an ex-wife and a child out there who don't need any more YouTube fuckery in their life.
She doesn't care about involving YouTube fuckery in people's lives. She has no problem with that at all. There we go.
This is not a made-up sofa cover. This is an actual sofa cover that you can buy. I'll provide the link if anybody's desperate to have one. But unfortunately, it's exactly the same fabric as Ziggy's dress.
Maybe she can get curls.
It's an exact match. I died when you posted that the other night. Well, I died twice. It was so good.
I wonder if they make a recliner cover like that. She could just
matching curtains. And matching
curtains. She could just be a disembodied head. She could wear the dress on the covered recliner and be the raging disembodied head.
No! Her face, I know. It's she's screaming.
Hey, Blair, I saw you down there. Welcome. Welcome, Eve.
Sticky says that just looks itchy, but imagine after 3 days, it's got to be pretty itchy. No wonder she's scratching all the time. She's always scratching. That's got to be
Hey,
it.
Jimmy. Hi, True Crime with Eve.
Clara, I don't know whether you were in here last week
correct.
when we were discussing you very briefly. Emails from people constantly asking us to dig into your life, while also providing the fact that other channels are digging into your life. So why on earth we should start when there are already people doing it? By somebody who admires our research so much on Heels in the Air that she's over there kissing up to Heels in the Air. So yeah, we told her that we're not interested.
I hear Hills is a fan of ours.
Heels, a massive fan. She's a whole air conditioning unit.
Is she? That's what I've heard. Heard she really, really enjoys our work.
Yeah.
Star said, no wonder Jason stayed above deck. Girl, get out of here. What a classy way to put it, though, right?
That was
classy. That was a very discreet way of putting it. And yes, I'm with Six Up on this one.
Yeah, same.
Hey,
I'm sorry,
welcome.
but the minute that the minute that you decide at the drop of a hat, the slightest being called out, that you're going to throw yourself in with Ziggy, goodness me. Yes, Deets, I can imagine. Oh my God, thank you, Pearl. I'm tired of the emails about that. There's already so many who have done, and I'm told he's addressed it. So why do I need to spend my time on it? That is exactly my point, Deets. Clara, yes, feel free. We are very C-word friendly. I come from the UK. It's positively a term of endearment over here. When I saw them all clutching their pearls because you dared to use it, it's like, how dare you say that in front of a woman? I have never known an area of the YouTube that deals in blood, guts and gore, terrible murders, awful crimes. Somebody drops the C-bomb and they all faint. So for goodness sake.
Here's my issue with everybody getting all up in arms over that word, is that they have no problem when a female calls a male a dick. You know, that's just fine. That's just fine. Nobody blinks an eye. You know, they use that but then want to cry when it's turned. Like, how does it make sense then? It's just a word.
Hey, we.
Hey, hello everybody.
Hey, we.
How are you?
I am good, thank you very much. Hey everybody, how are ya?
Yeah.
Hi, we.
Yeah. And we're talking about digging into people for nefarious purposes. Leave Griffey and Stella alone. They've done nothing to you. You're just being a pain in the arse. Leave it.
Are people messing with Griffey and Stella again?
Threatening to. Apparently somebody, I believe somebody's emailing or in contact with Tiffany about wanting information. I'm sure you can all imagine who that is. Speaking of the C word.
If I ever wanted to have liberal use of the C word, now would be the moment, but I will forgive you all for not letting me do that right now.
You know me, I'm an instigator. Do it.
Like, I mean, the way that they're carrying on, it could be coming yet. So we'll look forward to that, no doubt. That'll be a whole other day.
If we have to all deal with it, we'll all deal with it. Quite how these people don't see how they continue to give themselves away is beyond me.
Right. I think some people forget how much we often let stuff slide because it's not worth arguing over petty stuff all of the time. They take that as that we either haven't noticed or that we're too scared of them or something like that.
Yes.
I'm
We are
sorry
very
that
scared.
that's what you think.
No.
I am so sorry. But carry on and you'll find out that scared is the last thing they are. And God help you at that point, because it's been a long time coming. So there's going to be a whole lot to unleash, and you're going to take a whole lot of people with you. So carry on, carry on.
What is that gif I always post? A reckoning is coming for everyone.
With like biblical ha 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 music.
Was it the dog on a treadmill psycho music, which you can't play because we'll get copyright struck? They are really serious about the copyright on the psycho music.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think they appreciated our treadmill dog version. I've still got it up on my channel if anybody wants to go and see it, but we won't be playing it on a live because. Oh, speaking of lives getting struck down. Did anybody see that Ziggy's live about Benny, I think, lasted all of 8 minutes, possibly 11 minutes? And then it got pulled. And I said, in the moment that I typed to Tanga, oh, she's going to be big mad. This is going to be a rage quit. She was already back on air.
I was like, she's back.
I don't know what is in the water with those people at the moment. There's like a little group that are consistently going at each other at the moment. One's shouting at the other one's shouting at somebody else, and they're all taking lives down, and they're all searching for comments and getting all weird. You're like, you didn't care about this a year ago. Nobody
They're just battling for those Summer Wells dollars, you know?
Right.
They're
seriously,
knockdown, drag out battling.
An actual Candace level. When you propose in having a Candace level on your membership, there is something seriously wrong. Daisy and
it's
Ziggy,
like $25 too.
Yeah, $24.99. Daisy and Ziggy constantly calling each other liars and grifters. It's like the living embodiment of the Spider-Man meme with the two Spider-Men pointing at each other. That is Daisy and Ziggy.
Right.
What kind of access can you get for $25? I mean, can I get like a deposition?
Deposition.
Maybe it's like a secret link to that OnlyFans that we saw a few weeks ago, and if so, I'm not it. I'm out. I'm gone. No, sorry, not doing it. Not me. Pick someone else. I say no. I vote no for this one.
But you love a good OnlyFans experience,
Mostly, yes. I'm a very adventurous person, but even I have my limits, you know. I have seen a lot of things in my life. There's some things I'm just like, no, don't do that to yourself. Your brain has been through too much already. Just don't.
The only solution to this ongoing grudge between Daisy and Ziggy is that they meet down at Warriors Park with an inflatable paddling pool and several buckets of Jello, and they just wrestle it out. All proceeds going to the local dog care. I can't think of the term that I'm looking for. Somebody help me. They take
the dog shelter, the animal shelter.
Thank you very much. For some reason, my brain could not find that term. I think it's because it was still boggling at the idea of Daisy and Ziggy Jello wrestling. Complete victory, winner takes all. Other one leaves the internet. The one who's remaining is then champion until somebody else can take them out, preferably in the following hour. So they both have to leave the internet.
Right, like Thunderdome?
Yes.
Oh, I like it. Can we sell tickets?
I'm beginning to think we all should be kind of into this at this point. You know, just saying.
I'm afraid that if you've come for in-depth content tonight, it is all going to be like this. Wednesday, we've got a far more substantial live coming. John Davis is going to be with us as well. We're going to discuss his wonderful live that he did over the weekend, where everything was going wrong for him. So he decided to speak his mind about the scamming in this community. So we will be dealing with that on Wednesday. But tonight, it's going to be mockery and piss taking. So if that's not your bag, this is not the life for you. If that is your bag, pull up a chair.
Today we are blowing off some
Mystery has
steam.
just begun.
And just to fit in with those two comments, at some point I feel like perhaps on the Wee History channel, I need to find out a creative way to do some educational, informational service on what dogging means in the UK without getting my channel taken away, because we certainly couldn't do it here, so that people understand whenever that term comes up why Pearl and I sort of have a moment of
yes, when they say so and so is
Yeah.
dogging somebody, that is a very, very different thing in the UK.
Very.
To try and put it politely, it involves people of questionable morals hanging around in parking lots or wooded areas, quite often watching occupants of a car, and then joining in with occupants of a car in doing activities that would not normally be done in public, certainly not as a group. Yes. So dogging is a very, very different thing. It came about because people often use the excuse that they're walking their dog officer, and they just came across this scene. They definitely weren't pressing their face against they weren't pressing their face against the window, and they certainly weren't intending to join in with the couple in the car. They were just walking their dog.
Purely accidental.
Purely accidental. The fact that it was 15 men all walking their dog in the same area around a car that a couple were going at it in, purely a coincidence, officer.
It could be a dog walking club.
Dog walking club.
I'm trying.
And it is, in fact,
there
a
are
dogging
such
club,
things,
yes.
Tanya. Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh gosh, you're going to get us into a whole situation here. That Earl knows what once I start, there will be a world of craziness that we'll never get out of.
Well, let's do it. It's Monday. Everybody's in a funk. Eliza said she doesn't have much energy. Let's perk her up a little bit.
But it's kind of the situation I imagine someone's camper to be in currently, to be honest. I can't help it. It's just in my head.
I think it's unlikely.
I don't think it would have been on purpose, but I mean, yeah, there's a lot that goes on. If I can find a link for a suitable YouTube version, there's a British documentary that was done on this lifestyle. It's a whole lifestyle.
I knew where you were going.
I know. Pearl's like, oh dear, here she goes.
There is a contingent in the UK where caravanning, which is what we tend to call camping in a van over here, sorry. The swinger community is very, very into camper vans.
It's a whole, they have literal layers of little secret code messages for each other. Things that I just was never aware actually existed.
No, I
You're
wasn't
like,
until I saw the documentaries, and I was
right?
like, flipping heck,
thought
you
these
always
people-
think, Brian and Doreen down the road in their camper van every weekend, you just think they're toddling around the countryside having a little picnic. Oh no. It turns out it's full on filth. I personally will never get over the mix of tight curly grey perm and full sort of leather strap get up.
Colin brings up a good point. Pearl, you know a lot about this.
I've just been saying, the documentaries in the UK, we have a channel no, seriously, we have a channel called Channel 4.
Were you featured?
And all the weird programs. And yet it's publicly funded. It's a publicly funded channel.
And then for the even racier version, Channel 5 gets a look in, and then they're like,
it's
oh, you see what was
channel.
on Channel 4 last week? We're going to do the triple X.
Channel.
It's a naughty channel. Channel 4 is also considered one of our major news channels.
Education.
Oh no, I accidentally timed Kriss out. Kriss, I'm so sorry. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Channel 4 is the channel that brought us things like, what's that naked dating show?
Oh my God. I can literally.
Naked and Afraid.
No.
This is where
a
literally
dating
people
show.
get naked in the studio when somebody picks one from the selection of genitalia.
There are
that's called Tanga Takes a Man.
There are like 5 people in these little stand-up booths, and then it reveals a section of them at a time, and the person who's doing the picking, so to speak, is asked to critique this person on what they
the
can
country
see.
that gave you Jane Austen and Shakespeare, folks.
Right, and this is the educational. This is our entertainment of an evening. You wonder why we're weird? Hey,
skin tags are outie.
So yeah, these people are in the booths, and you get to stand them. They then whittle down out of the 5 people. They then get down to this one person to pick, and then you get to see the person who was choosing and the person who was in the booth originally meet each other in the way that God made them for the first time.
Naked Attraction. Little Minx has just said the title.
Bingo. Well, thank you. That is perfect, because I could see the whole show in my head and couldn't remember the name. It's a trauma and an experience all at the same time.
But seriously, this channel, the documentaries are hair curling. They become compulsive viewing, even though you're shocked and appalled. You can't not watch them.
Right.
The whole thing with the people who wore masks, the people who dressed up as dolls, just weirdness.
Yep. Yeah. There's a lot. The one with the going back to the dogging and camping situation, there's a whole series of like little code issues, like whether you wear a certain color of Wellington boot, for waterproof walking. I would be like, knowing my luck, I would just be the ignorant sap taking my dogs for a literal walk through the woods and getting lynched by this group of
freaky Brian and Doreen kidnap you and drag you into a hedge because you've got the right wellies on.
I did tell Griffy a story about that did sound a wee bit like a sort of Doreen-esque there a couple of weeks ago, where it was one of those moments where you were like, oh yes, I think I'm in the wrong area at this moment. I think it's time to leave. This wasn't quite what I had on the cards for this evening. Thanks for the effort and all there, lads, but no, thank you. I appreciate it and all though. Cheers.
Eve, I have some bad news to you about what constitutes the UK.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah.
She's going to skip the UK, and I just undressed for it.
Yeah, you'll find that no matter where you are, there's a whole sub-level of society that's going on. That's the safest way I can put that, Eve. You're welcome. I'll answer questions offline.
Scotland is particularly keen on the dogging hobby.
Well, there's a lot of Scotland to meet up in. I think that's why.
One of my favourite things about these documentaries is that they're always voice-overed by some of our best national acting talent. So you'll get these completely freaky documentaries over here, and they're given narration in the same way as if they were like Planet Earth or something really, really serious. Sort of, it's like hearing Benedict Cumberbatch talk about penguins and he can't even say penguin. We have these incredibly talented actors who tend to make a lot of money from narrating really freaky documentaries.
Right.
Yes, Lisa Jones. Pop-Tarts and hooker boots for everybody.
Oh God, that would add an element that nobody would be ready for. No. But there's like I think it was a Channel 5 documentary on that subject. That's the reason I'm telling you that. If I can find a link for this thing, it's one that's worth watching just for no matter how open-minded you are, no matter what your life choices are, what your predilections are, you will still sit and have a moment of, you what? What?
Oh, which one is
Really?
it you're thinking of?
I need to see if I can't remember the name of it, but they were all wearing like a badger mask and a
Oh,
rabbit
yes.
mask, and
Yes.
it was a disaster all at the same time. One of the funniest shows. I make my friends watch it because it makes me weep with tears of joy.
Yeah, some of these masks are really ornate, and you'd have people in like owl masks and badger masks, and then like the rest of their body from the neck down is like a dumpy 50s housewife. And I say that as a dumpy 50s housewife, but not a mask wearing one. Yes. It is. That would be wonderful. I'll find a link if I can and whack it on the community page, my community page, not our community page. I don't want to drag us all into this.
There's that. There's
Taking
that
over the
one.
team, Pearl.
And then to bring it a little bit more stateside, there's a Louis Theroux documentary that he had done on the swinger lifestyle. And it's equally entertaining but in a different way, in the fact that Louis Theroux is Louis Theroux. He's awkward, stereotypically very English in his mannerisms, all of the things.
And if you haven't heard him rap, I recommend you dig out Louis Theroux's rap.
Right.
He's
But
very thug-like.
him receiving several offers at these evening events was just a joy to be had, because you're like, oh dear. That's
Never
awkward.
more English than in the moment that he was propositioned by swingers and trying to turn them down politely.
Yep. And yet he's still very, because he's inquisitive by nature, you can tell he's sort of like, I kind of want to look, but I know once I look, I'm never going to be the same. That's not good. Oh, it's just funny. It's just funny. Yeah, every time I think of that certain person tootling around in their little camper van, I'm just like, oh, you never know. Maybe those little sex socks will get a maneuvering this evening. Who knows? Who knows? Time will tell.
Well, I don't think they're going to have time to discuss that, because I'm sure it's going to be another riveting episode of fake kidnapping. Always a tasteful game to play when you've got a victim of crime in your channel.
Right.
But moving on.
Oh, yeah. One of the weirdest things I have ever witnessed, and Lord knows that if we talk about it, that'll be a whole riot. But whenever certain other people catch on to what happened over there that night, I'll not be defending the people that took part, that's for sure. That's all on you. All on you.
Same.
Hey, Magpie, good to see you, hon.
I'm confused. What man has waited 3 years for what?
The vacation.
Oh, right. I didn't know whether we were still on Luther.
He waited
Well, you got to
3
remember
years.
the comments are a little behind us.
He waited 3 years to sit and listen to Purple and her friends make 4th grade fart and sex jokes for hours.
Yeah.
I thought it was the sex socks. I was like, really? Has Costco been empty for that long? Oh my goodness.
Sounds like a bang up vacation without the kids, doesn't it?
Has anybody heard from Soup? I'm just wondering if she's okay.
Last I heard, she was okay. They just didn't have their electricity back yet.
But speaking of tornadoes, am I right in assuming that Nita was trying to present as if she was in the danger of Tornado Alley when in fact she was nowhere near imminent tornado arrival?
Yes, there was a watch in her area, and she decided to post that it was imminent. So they sent her home from DoorDash, and now she's not sure that she can get her grandson because, you know, she needs money. You need to go sit down. You are such a mess.
Right. That's
It actually was supposed to stop raining in her area like an hour later. She said 100 times where she lives.
DoorDash sent her home? That's not how it works.
Well, that's how Nita says it works.
Oh.
Right, Bugsy? She needs $17.21.
I think they will if there's a certain amount of what you would call excessive storm activity in the area, you know, when it's like felling trees and stuff like
just
that.
Sort of just withdraw it as a service in case all the actual places that make food close down.
That
she was driving live, and there was still blue sky. Off to the right, it was starting to get a little darker, but yeah, that didn't seem to be the case right at that moment.
Is it just me, or is she not that good a driver? Because whenever I've seen her broadcasting while driving, I always think, my God, are you actually concentrating on what you're doing at all? Because she just doesn't strike me as a particularly safe driver.
Well, it's kind
she's
of
all
hard
over
to
the
drive.
road.
It's hard to drive safely when you're crying hysterically and screaming at other people at the same time. It kind of makes it hard to actually focus on the road, I would imagine. Never mind if you're then looking at the screen on whatever device you're streaming from and talking to your chat simultaneously. That's kind of not safe. Never mind legal.
Yeah, it does seem
Stop
dangerous.
that. You're going to kill somebody. Stop it, please. As much as I don't like you, I do not wish to watch you end yourself or other people on live stream because you're having a hissy fit in the road. Stop that, please.
Because you need $14.22 for a prescription.
I'd go dogging instead. It might cheer you up. Who knows?
Ask for tips. Dogging tips.
Oh dear.
I
gather somebody was saying that it would appear that Ziggy could be an imminent puppy grandmother if she doesn't get a dog sorted. Somebody said there was dog behaviour in the background of her live.
Oh no. You know she hasn't had Athena fixed yet. There's no way.
I'm sure that it'll be fine, you know, sort of unfixed female dog, new male dog. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, maybe she could sell the puppies.
Oh Lord, don't.
Oh God. Get your YouTube puppy today from famous YouTuber.
And you know she's going to tie it back to summer. Lucky's grandbabies.
Oh Lord.
Oh God. So
right.
You know that clip from can't think of the series. Oh yeah, Game of Thrones, when he just sort of steps onto the ledge and disappears. That's me at the thought of new puppies coming into this whole situation. And then we'll have no doubt a wish list full of puppy pads and puppy food.
Oh, that brings me back to something you were saying a wee while ago, just before I forget. When you were talking about what was going to happen with Ziggy with her supposed trip, shall we say, to the Warriors Park area. She was organizing a sort of trip with some people on her previous live, not the one that got taken down, the one before that.
I saw that. She wanted to take her psychic abilities down there to Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Lord.
and I quote, "We can do spirit boxes by the lake at Warriors Park." And I'm like, oh dear. Okie dokie. I can only imagine the carnage that will bring in itself. So if there's any chance, I doubt that she would care what any of us have to say or think. But nobody's trying to stop you from going there. Nobody's trying to prevent it. You do your thing. But please, if you want to save yourself from what can only be described as being trailed through the YouTube streets by the nostrils, please don't do that. Please don't. That's not a good idea.
You know what's really funny though? I was thinking about visiting Soup that weekend before I ever knew the date on that. So that's funny, isn't it?
You sneak down.
I kind of want you to visit Soup, and I kind of want you to both have a walk down to a certain park.
Yep, sneak down to Warriors Park and leave a
Go
little
dogging it,
trail of
Warriors.
thumbtacks on the ground. Like full Wile E. Coyote style maneuvers, like little.
I mean, you
just
just
be
get
in
to
the
stage.
bushes making weird noises would be entertaining.
Yeah, the thing is though that she would probably love that because it's content. It just gets to the stage where you think that you can't be surprised by anything anymore. And then a suggestion is made and you think, yeah, there's no bottom. There is literally no bottom.
No bottom at all, ever. She'll just keep going lower and lower. That's why as soon as you brought up the puppies, I was like, oh, those are Lucky Scream babies. They are getting sold.
But I mean, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? Sure, get more little dogs. I mean, God knows that she does so well with the 2 that she has at hand. Just bring more, create more. Bring all of the dogs, all of it. What I mean, come on, just stop.
Somebody said in the chat that Athena had been wearing a nappy. I can only hope. Okay, Pack God Lammy. Is it? As long as you don't get out of hand, I've got no problem with it. Just trundle on. I never quite understand, unless it's sort of, well, the sort of trolley that I would consider needs dealing with pretty quickly. I don't mind the odd troll. I do prefer them to be entertaining. So, be entertaining or
Right. They're
do the other
obviously
thing.
amusing themselves, which is great for them.
Speaking of trolls, I don't want to make a big deal of this, but I do want to say quite politely, I'm sick of hearing the excuse that somebody came up on somebody else's link. People can jump on an open link, but they have to be added to the stream. Okay, anybody comes up in the back here, they can be in the back, but unless they're clicked on by somebody who has the authority to do that, they can't appear on your screen. So please don't just say, oh, well, they came up on a link that was dropped for somebody else. And please be more careful about who you click on, and then the problem doesn't happen. I know sometimes people aren't as careful as they could be, or indeed have all their faculties around them. I'll put it politely. But it doesn't just happen. Choices have to be made that allow people up onto the screen. So a little more care would be fantastic.
Or better still, don't also be then screaming and yelling if somebody's under another username and you're not providing proof that I know who you are, I know who you are, and making people believe that it's a whole separate person. Either show your proof Or, if you have the proof now, remove them. But whatever that is that keeps happening in certain places, it's weird. And it really only tells you more about the streamer rather than the person supposedly popping up in the back chat all the time. It happens everywhere to an extent, but if you haven't learned how to deal with it by now, I don't know what to tell you.
It's very strange, and I really don't give a damn that there's somebody trolling with a version of my name. I think people can work out very clearly that it's not me. For one, I know how to spell the name that I use. But there are some
I wonder if we
people.
know anybody that's a horrible speller.
Yes.
I know 4. I know 4 that are really horrible spellers.
But when you decide to start this whole routine on somebody who is as universally loved in their friendship group and beyond as Julie is, you're going to make a mistake.
Yep.
There is a fly in this
they've
room.
made a mistake. They've made a mistake.
They've made a mistake. Oh, I know. There is a fly in this room that got in here earlier today when I had the window open. And for the life of me, I cannot understand how a fly can get through a centimetre gap, but you can open all the windows and it can't find its way out. How does that work?
Right.
Sorry,
Well,
I just wanted to get that complaint out.
Where's your kitty, Lenny? Because don't you have a kitty, Lenny? Because kitties will get the flies. They love a fly stuck in the house because it's entertainment for them.
I haven't seen Colleen around, and then she popped up in sixes the other night, which was a relief because I was beginning to wonder if she was okay. If you're out there, Colleen, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's skip to the chase a little. Packford Lammy. Pack God Lammy, apparently. I mean, I love the fact that you have ideas above your station and all, but is there anything that we can help you with? Because you seem a wee bit lost, you seem unable to engage with the chat, and you're not remotely funny. So, is there something that we can help you with that you don't understand? Because you seem a wee bit lost. Do we need to call an appropriate adult, an emergency service? What is it that you need? Is it informational ideas on dogging? Is that what you need? Is that where we can help you?
Here's
What is
popular.
it? Has your friend gone camping and abandoned you? I don't know. You tell us. What's happening? What's happening? You seem all of a fluster. Oh, while we were talking about documentaries earlier as well, there's another one. I don't know if the glarer is still here. But it's one that came out here years ago, and it's about the actual history of the C word. And it's very well done, very English with a very dry sense
It is
of humor.
excellent, actually, and it is a more serious documentary, but
yep,
great fun.
But spicy at times too, to break it up a little bit, because otherwise it would just be tedious. And I think it's one of those things that even those amongst you who don't find that kind of content enjoyable most of the time would be interested in knowing, because there's just like, you're like, oh really? I didn't know that.
I've got something. I just realized that Barbie on the West Coast is here, and I've got something for her that I think she'll appreciate.
Yes, you do, don't you?
I messaged her last week with Paloma's information because I thought it would be. That's funny.
That's Soup. Soup found the Barbie man.
That image of Soup, this doll, looks more like Soup than either Soup's avatar or the image I used for Soup when we had the old intro.
Doesn't it look just like her?
It looks just like her.
Does.
If Soup was a Barbie doll, it would be that one.
the boob area is too small, but the
Right.
hair and the eyes, perfect. That is how, if you want to know how Soup looks like that. It's sickening, but I'm not
Yeah.
bitter.
That's why I chose that image, because her hands were up by her boobs, so you can't tell that this one doesn't really have boobs, because Soup has boobs. But other than that, that's Soup. Anyway, I wanted to share that with Barbie.
Out of all the things you guys have decided to know, it's not her amazing hair and
Oh, her hair
beautiful
is
facial
phenomenal. It's
structures.
beautiful.
It's her boobs. I'm like, what about her hair? Her
No,
hair is
that's the
stunning.
point. That's the
Her
point.
hair
That
is
doll,
great.
You know
that
what? I'll say
doll
this:
is such
Soup
a
has
good image of Soup.
gorgeous
apart
porcelain
from,
skin.
she really
her skin
does.
is beautiful.
Anyway, that we were having a conversation the other day. We were chit-chatting, and then she said she saw this Barbie van, and who would have a Barbie van? And why would anybody do that? In this movie, it's a fad and it'll go or whatever. But then we found that image of a Barbie van, so I couldn't help myself. I had to make Super, her own Barbie van.
Hey,
But
Lawton girl.
I thought Barbie would appreciate that.
Definitely.
Hey, Lawton girl, how you doing?
When you say your kids have a Barbie van, Magpie, I presume that you mean a toy Barbie van, or do you mean an actual Barbie van?
Yeah, because what Soup saw was an actual Barbie van, like a van that somebody drives down the road, not a toy. That's why she was shocked.
Oh, I'm glad you liked TJ's commercial. It was a labour of love. I really wanted it to be good for her. There's a Ghostbuster car up the street from your house. What, the sort of dolled up hearse? Oh, it's one that they could actually sit in. Yeah, I always think of that GIF with the little girl running over her brother. That sort of pink Jeep straight over him, no hesitation.
That's how Pearl does business. Like caught her eye.
Somebody around here has one of those, the 3-wheeled like motorcycles. They have one of those that they have done up so it's like a shoe, like the old woman in the shoe. It is decked out like that, and they drive it around. I've seen it at the post office a couple of times.
Pat God, Lammy, I'm sorry. I know that that's what you wanted to ask. So I finally found out what they wanted, and it was, can you teach me how to troll? I'm sorry. It's a skill that you are granted at birth, and I know you haven't realized it yet, but you just don't have it, love. You just don't have it. So what I would like you to do this evening is to sit down, reevaluate your life choices, and just pick something new to do, because whatever this was, it wasn't a very good effort. I appreciate that you've put your whole heart and soul into it, but it's just not for you, love. It's just not. Sorry. Try dogging. It sounds great.
Yeah, it's like me in tap dancing. All the desire in the world is not going to get you anywhere. You are fundamentally unqualified. Hi, Valoma.
Good to see you, Paloma. Boy, Paloma, you had them wrapped up tighter than I don't know what the other night because they wanted to play your live and couldn't.
The greatest troll
That
move.
is how you troll.
Exactly.
That is how you troll.
This one was from 6 days ago.
She did that live, and she goes, I'm just gonna put it on private just for the hell of it. It'll drive them crazy. And it did. They noticed like a day or two later. So funny.
Actually, I gather that they went over the live that they'd already been over once, and nobody noticed for about 15 minutes.
Yes. It was
That's because it
hilarious.
all went over their head the first and second time.
I was laughing so hard because one of them did notice. She's like, didn't we watch this the other day? And she's like, no, this is a new one. And then again, I could swear we watched this already. No. And then at some point she realizes it was so funny.
Well, it shows how much attention they pay to what's going on. It's something else. And I love, was it you, Pearl, that brought this up the other day when we were talking about it, how when they get to a part where Paloma's making a really solid point about their behavior, they're, oh, that one doesn't matter. And they just skip ahead.
I said that. Like,
whenever,
yeah, whenever she gets to a point where it's like, they can't deny how it applies to them. It must make them, and she's like, we're skipping this.
They just don't want to hear it.
I particularly, right up there with Alanis Morissette's inability to understand what is actually irony, is the way that they say, oh yeah, well, this is just something that they're trying to use for their narrative. Right, this is how commentary works. It is the nature of narrative. Narrative is a word that describes a structure, the way of communicating something, the very essence of commentary, if you will. I suggest that rather than throwing the word out, you take a chance to look up the meaning.
Right. It's one of the oldest human traditions, the ancient art of storytelling, how to convey your opinion through a structured story. That's how you make a point in order to get people to understand your point of view. It's wild to me that certain people haven't realized that exists, but okay. Okay, you correct the entire human race. Go on with your bad self.
Yes, so that you understand that I'm not trying to use narrative on you, I'm now going to explain this through the medium of interpretive dance.
I would be so here for it. That would be amazing.
Paloma said she handed the link out to those who matter. If anyone else wants it, just let her know. Paloma, you're fantastic. You really are.
Well, what was so funny is she immediately did that right after the live. Just she goes, it'll just
specifically for that reason.
Within a minute of finishing the live, she said, "Hey, do you know what? I'm going to private this just for the hell of it."
Yeah, that is how you troll. So the person in the chat looking to learn how to troll, that's it. That's
hey, Soup. So glad to see you here.
Bugsy
know your target.
Soup Van again.
Oh, show Soup Van again. Okay, hold on.
Zoots, that is one of my favorite movies.
Soup saw it already, though.
Oh, right. I didn't know whether she had or not. I was just responding to the comment in the chat. That doll is the spitting image of you, Soup. I can't get over it.
It really is.
Yep, that's Soup as a Barbie doll.
You see her in chat. I saw a pink van like that the other day. That's what we were talking about. You inspired Eliza.
Yep. It's because she went on, how Soup will go on about something when she sees something crazy. So I figured, there's a pink Barbie van. I'm gonna put Soup with it. And then I saw Soup. When I saw Soup as a Barbie version, that there is a Barbie version of Soup that was on, I couldn't help it.
She said she couldn't let it go. I've been so happy since Discord put in those voice notes in there because we get Soup commentary around the clock, and it is the absolute best. I'm living for it.
It is, if something will happen, She will watch something or something will happen around her. She will give us the commentary. It's fantastic. I can't not listen. The minute a new one comes up, I've got to be on there. Her widow sent us this picture of her local car that the guy has done up as a Ghostbusters vehicle.
Oh, wow. Now, my kids,
cool.
you know, when they were younger, would have thought that was the coolest thing ever. They went around playing Ghostbusters all the time.
Barbie on the West Coast makes those really cool Barbie doll videos, and she said that there's a Barbie version of every one of us, and she's sure that she has it. Are you going to honor us with a Barbie video? That would be so amazing.
I like the fact that the wheelchair Barbie came with her own ramp. I thought it was a nice touch.
Well, it's important.
It's necessary.
It is
be able to get
important
into her.
thing. Especially as the dream house is not really wheelchair friendly.
Right. Well, some of them have elevators. Some of the Barbie dream houses, so.
Yes.
Yeah, mine didn't have a way to move between the floors. So I guess Barbie just climbed. I don't know.
She teleported.
She had the gift of flight. Hey, Jay Marie.
Good to see you, Jay Marie. Hey, lean on me.
Barbie on the West Coast has got 3 wheelchairs.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mine would be divorced Barbie without the dream house and the Corvette.
Oh, we miss you too, Sue. We're looking forward to Wednesday.
Yes, of course. Famously, rather than there being a Barbie version of Tiffany Marie, Tiffany herself is the Barbie version with the the pop out legs. I gather she's back in Benny's chat.
Yeah.
If anybody was wondering how that sentence was going to end, just the chat, as far as to know now.
I don't know. It's hard to tell half the time because they're very, very, very cozy. You can tell with Benny lying on his broken bed. Lord only knows what happened there. Let your imagination run free. God help us all. But whatever
I hope
is
it wasn't
going on,
a dogging incident.
Everybody has their limits.
His mom does have 2 rather chunky Labradors, so it could have been.
I admire your hope there, but I doubt that was the case. It was interesting to me that they were looking for multiple people who have been in this sector the entire time and wondering why they had so-called disappeared without a trace, not to be seen. Yet these 2, Benny and Tiffany, are apparently the ultimate investigators. Here's the thing. If you type their names into the YouTube search bar, that would have brought you up to their channels. You would find that 2 of the people that you're looking for have their own channels. So instead of harassing people that you don't know anything about and trying to, make fetch happen as you are by misconstruing things. And Benny, we have our receipts. So keep pushing, sweetie. But the other people, the people who have answers on the people that you are supposedly looking for, have been here the whole time. In fact, they're in purple and Jenna's chat. They've been there a long, long time. Go hang out with them. Go find out from them. It's weird to me, but yous are great investigators. Okie dokie. Alrighty then. Love that. Love that.
At this point, they're all just talking in circles and getting nowhere.
That is probably the one true fact of the Summer Wells community at the moment.
They're all
Did you guys see
themselves.
Justin's thumbnail? Was it, I believe, yesterday?
It was gross.
Where it had the caption. Yeah.
I did click on to see what the hell he was talking about. And the man who speaks even slower than Ziggy was talking about the old phone call with Summer in the background. So there's something that is months old, digging over it again.
With the most vile headline across that thumbnail. Oh,
yes.
Man. You have,
I mean, really,
definitely.
I thought that it was right up there with John B's absolutely vile somebody with a spade and sort of the leg of what is obviously a dead body thing. You know, he had that thumbnail about some couple of weeks ago. Like I said, there's no bottom. There's no bottom.
There isn't, and they'll all keep rehashing the same details as long as people keep showing up, dropping off some cash, going on about their business. Tragedy pimping at its finest around here.
They don't think that the Wells well is ever going to run dry for them. I mean, it has, but they will rehash, reinvent, and recreate all this nonsense. I mean, here we go out there reaching beyond. It just, I'm baffled. I'm baffled at what they're reaching at and who they're trying to connect dots with, just because they happen to live in that county.
And it's really sad because in the meantime, there are a lot of missing people and missing children that are just not getting mentioned at all because everybody's got to keep getting those Summer Wells dollars in. It's really frustrating to watch.
To make games out of it, to try to make more dollars come in is it's strange. There are other cases out there that they could really draw attention to. There's some interesting things out there that, you know, if they like to look for clues and all that sort of thing, those cases are out there. But instead they'll bring on somebody that's a drug addict that happened to be a girlfriend of a neighbor that says, I don't know them. Somebody that calls Summer that little girl instead of calling her Summer.
Yeah.
What?
And then last week we had Zippergate. And there's a long involved conversation about the colour of the jacket and it wasn't even relevant.
Watched Michelle?
I didn't.
If anybody watched Michelle After Dark or Michelle Walks, I'm not sure which channel she did it on, but she showed Candace showing that same jacket where she held it up in different lighting and voila, looks the same color as it does in the photo. And also, if you look at not just the photo of Summer in the backseat, but also the video, you'll notice that there's different lighting. I just find it really, really strange since there's so much uproar over this jacket, but yet that's not the jacket. She wasn't wearing that jacket when she went missing. So what is the point of any of it?
Well, here's the thing. If the jacket was of any importance, the police would have already gathered it up by now.
Right.
Because
It's
they've known
a
where
bit
it was
like
at.
the sofa,
Yes.
where people are doing a whole investigation into the sofa as well. That the couch that was at the back door. And you don't need to have a particularly favourable view of police. Even if you don't, you could see that there are at least the odd one who will be a wee bit more clued in. Not everybody is doing the worst at all times. Not everybody is incompetent or inept. There are people who do fulfill not only their job criteria, but their ability as a human to want to find a missing child. Unfortunately, that isn't always quick. And I think that's the part that is a stumbling block for a lot of people at the moment. People want answers yesterday. And it doesn't work like that. Justice takes a long time sometimes. And it should only be that we want the correct answer, not half an answer, not some fictional answer. If that takes another however long, we should be happy to wait for that in order to get the right answer. I know it's frustrating, but people are trying to push, and that's not the right thing to do. It's just not.
Well, look at the red wine case.
Yep.
9
I'm sick
years?
of saying it, to be honest. I'm like, why do people not remember?
Widow sent us a picture. We showed Barbie that was soup, and she sent us an image that she suggests covers many other YouTube creators in Barbie form. Brace yourself.
Oh, goodness.
Of course, Bullhorn Betty had to get there at the front. For goodness sake, Betty, take a step back.
Well, those are definitely the extensions that I saw.
I will leave you to speculate yourself who the rest of them are. I don't know about the boobage, but the false eyelashes back right remind me of somebody.
Flutter, flutter. She looks like she's going to go flying away.
Yes. Anyway, I laughed. Widow with the quality content tonight.
Thank you, Widow.
She's
See,
hoping
she's
that
got Deets
Pearl
dying
will
again.
walk her.
Going back to Zippergate, yeah, you make a good point. Michelle did show it in the jacket in the 2 different lightings, and it was obvious that there wasn't a huge discrepancy. It was the same jacket. And Deets, I really appreciate Deets debunking Zippergate. As somebody who
Yeah.
likes to sew, I
Yep.
really appreciated the fact that she said, look, it's not about the zipper, it's about the fabric. Exactly. Great bit of debunking. Deets has been hitting out of the park again. Some great
She
conversation
has.
about what people expect as a sub, what people think of the whole situation with mods. It's been very entertaining and eye-opening. Some of the answers to things quite surprising. What people think about creators going on other creators panels, which is a whole complex thing. I mean, I know personally, it depends for me whether I see them co-signing stuff. I don't have an issue with creators going on other creators panels that they might have completely opposite views to. If they suddenly completely change their stance depending on what panel they're on, then I'm going to distrust them. But if they're consistent in what they're saying, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's always great to see creators swapping it up a bit on different panels. But yeah, Deets has had some really great discussions.
Is Tits trying to say she's in the back here? Because she's not.
No.
You know, I don't see all the content comments, but you see the one I have highlighted.
Yeah, no, I can't see you.
Yeah, I see it.
You're not in the back on this,
to.
but you're not in the. You may have the wrong link if you're trying to say you're in the back here. Otherwise, I'm maybe misinterpreting a
You want me to
comment.
drop the link in the Discord?
Sure, go ahead. Tit said you put her boobs with Ziggy's eyelashes. What are you doing?
Oh, she's saying that was her in the back on that picture.
Okay, in the back row. I gotcha.
I understand now. I understand. I was like,
Okay, I'll
don't
leave
act
it
like
then.
I won't let.
I was utterly confused.
I was too.
So
I was too.
we are going to have Tits with us on Wednesday, though, when we come back.
Yes.
Now I want to know, are you picking out the pink ones to eat because they're the best? Or are you picking out the pink ones because you don't like them?
How dare you? Opal fruits are the best. Starburst are a secondary option.
Secondary option.
Disavow each one of you that would choose Starburst over Opal fruits. These are the laws that we have to live by. You're welcome.
I don't know how long it has been since the UK decided to join the rest of the world and call a marathon a Snickers bar. But to me,
Same. We are marathon years old.
yes. It's funny, because I was sent the clip of somebody calling us a bunch of old biddies, and I was thinking, I'm the same age as Heidi. Heidi, they think you're an old biddy. Some of these girls are the same age as Jenna and Perp.
And
Jenna, Perp, you're old
conversely,
biddies, according to people over on your side of the street, as you like to refer to it.
and then the same people trying to instigate a conversation of the old guard against the new generation, apparently. But the old guard had two people in their 40s. I think for most of the people who would at least be in this channel at the moment would find that an average user of this sector, to be honest, it changes drastically in different sectors of YouTube, but for this sector, most of the users tend to be 40s, 50s. It's wild to me that they haven't noticed that, but then they somehow thought they were going to tell other people what to do, even though they were basically discussing apples and oranges. It was wild. And for those of you who don't know, you'll see that come up a different day. I'll leave it there. That's all you need to know for now, because it was a lot. Oh, it was a lot.
Hey, Morris 17, good to see you.
Hey, Morris. I saw Poppy in here earlier, too.
Yes, Sixth, I did say it was actually Little Zig who braided that pup's hair, yes.
Yeah, I saw that before we came live.
Well, J. Marie, that's because you and Soup go to bed at 8 o'clock. No wonder they're saying you're 60.
She does go to bed at a regular bedtime.
Right? Here's me and Eliza at 4 in the morning. I got to get up at 5. Hi.
Well, it's not 4 in the morning for me.
Oh, that's right.
This
It's only
very
2 for you. Or 1 for you.
Yeah. But still, yeah, I stay up kind of late. I don't sleep a lot, 5 or 6 hours usually.
I don't either. I'm not a big sleeper.
I would like to be.
I would love to be. I have never been a good sleeper, ever. I wasn't as a child, teenager, and subsequent to having my own children and then having chronic illness, it just was downhill all the way.
Probably before, it's been more like the last 5 years. Prior to that, I was more like Soup. Go to sleep at a typical time every night, 10, 11, be in bed, be asleep, and be up early, regardless of the day of the week. But in the last 5 years, it's just changed, and I hate it. I really wish I did
I'm
sleep
always up
better.
early. Sometimes I don't even let sleep interrupt that.
Right?
That's
Carry on
my
right through.
situation. And contrary to the belief of some other people, it's not medically assisted in that manner. It's just an unfortunate effect of pain. It keeps you awake.
Yeah.
So you sort of find things to do. It's hilarious to me that certain people kind of forget that other people could experience that also, and then want to cry and boo-hoo whenever someone throws that insult back at them. But you
Yeah.
know.
I love my tens machine because I don't.
Ice packs for me. Ice packs.
But
My tens is one of my
the
favorite
tens
things.
machine is not conducive to sleeping. It's just not.
Right. Or a
It's
yantra mat.
yeah. It's very good at sort of distracting your body away from the pain, but also doesn't really allow your body to sort of nap with it. It's sort of just distracting too much.
Yeah.
And especially if you're having issues with sleep, it's just an extra level of something that is stopping you going to sleep. But at
Right.
least you're awake and not in pain. So, bonus. It's there is at least that to it. Better to be awake and not in pain than awake and in pain. Yes, Bugsy, I'm sorry we did wake you up with a Discord call because they discovered me down the back of the sofa. And I think we realised it was even earlier.
It was like 4 a.m., I believe. But
I
I
didn't
was
start the
happy.
call.
No, I was happy to hear it, and I did end up going back to sleep later. But no, that was the call I was waiting on, and happy to get a call like that. I don't care what time of day it is. We were really worried about Pearl.
Yeah, we were.
There's me trying to send smoke signals by putting a video on a public because that was a quick click.
Well, that just confused us more, to be quite honest.
I know, but I couldn't. Do you know what I mean? Because that page was already up.
I actually took comfort in that, to be honest with you. I knew that it was important to you, so I knew that was going to be one of your first priorities. I just know how you think, like how much
The
effort
birthday
you put
stuff
into
was the
projects
priority
you're
to me,
working.
definitely.
Yes.
Um,
And so that's why I got concerned, because I knew you were working on it. And when you didn't make the live, and then I didn't see that, I went and looked for it in the studio, and I didn't see it there. And that's when I was very worried, because I knew that that was really important to you. But once that had uploaded, I figured it was going to be either one of two things. It was you were having issues with connection, or you weren't feeling well and managed to get that done and went back to bed.
I tell you, the mistake that I made and that I will not make again was everything was downloaded and ready to get uploaded. And I was like, I will just have lunch and, and I will come back and upload. I came back, the internet was like, well, like
That
perp on
happens to me.
Mondays.
That happens to me when I'm working with a project on Canva that requires like lots of layering and going back and forth with it to be able to do the edits that I want to do. And then if I take a break and go eat or do anything else, when I come back to it, that's when the internet's going to act up. It won't cooperate. Now, it just every darn time. It's so frustrating.
This was hilarious that Tits is saying here on the screen. They tried to communicate with me by Cash App, and
try to lure you with cash.
my internet had returned when I got about 10 notifications by email. I've also swapped my phone, so that was an added complication. All telling me that I had failed Cash Apps. And when I clicked on them, it said, this person is outside the area of service. And I couldn't understand that. I was like, what? I contacted the support and they told me information that would have been more useful weeks ago, that Cash App UK will no longer do international transactions and will only work within the UK. So, on the one hand, nice to know, closed the account down, cashed out what there was in there. But also, I could just imagine it. There's part of me now that knows that I can't do international transactions, that wishes I hadn't closed my Cash App down and that I just started sending £200 Cash Apps to people who really get worked up about money, just to see them go through as failed.
That's the best troll. I love that.
But I've already closed the account.
Also is another trolling lesson there for you, person that was looking for trolling tips. You see, you just have it or you don't.
It was the Mandela effect, Tits. I don't actually exist.
Pearl, were you helping we launder money for tiny Africans? Is that why you're shut down? You're both shut down.
Oh, people are so bizarre about anybody helping anyone. Like, everything has to be a conspiracy.
Well, for those who don't know, because in South Africa, Cash App was not available, I had opened a Cash App for Griffy and Stella. The idea being that if anyone was able to donate to them before they were monetized via Cash App, because for some people that's easier or more comfortable, they would send it to the Cash App. I screenshotted the Cash App and then would send it on with the screenshot through PayPal straight to Griffy and Stella. Job done. And some bitter little gutter snipe, I can only imagine who that is, because unlike some, I'm not going to call somebody out without proof, but I can let your mind imagine who that might be, had decided to report the Cash App. So before we even got region locked, my Cash App had been reported. All because someone got their little knickers in a twist about helping some people who are struggling. So yeah, there you go. If you would like to stick 2 fingers up to those people, you can go over to Griffy and Stella's channel and join their membership, and it would mean the world to them in every way possible. You're welcome.
It would be fantastic. PayPal is really the only consistent and helpful way of immediately supporting them. Obviously, membership and super stickers and super chats work, but they're delayed, and YouTube takes such a huge proportion out of it that if you can do PayPal instead, it's always worth it.
The problem with PayPal is, a lot of subscribers are not comfortable with it because you give up your identity in a lot of cases, and that's why people like Cash App and Venmo and those sorts of things.
And this is a problem that I'm going to have. I have PayPal people money, but it's been people that I trust implicitly. I wouldn't do it for just anyone because I don't want all my information out there.
Right.
And it's the same reason that I won't put my PayPal up as a means of people tipping me. So in effect, I am a tip-free zone, but to be pretty much I was anyway, so it's not an issue for me. Canva is my hobby. I would pay for other hobbies, so it's not a big deal. But no, I won't be putting my PayPal up.
Yeah. But you can still do super stickers and super chats to them, or join their membership if people are uncomfortable with PayPal. I have become uncomfortable with PayPal because I had a creator use my address for means other than the purpose that they were given it through PayPal. So
it's a bit much, isn't it, when you go out of your way to support a creator in their business endeavors and they take advantage of your support by using your address to dox you. It's quite a thing.
Using the PayPal that you had sent to them at a moment that they were in crisis, that once they take against you, they then use to troll and get your Facebook details and all the rest. But just to make things very clear for anybody who may be confused, because I understand that YouTube can be like that. The person that has used this information, it has never been Griffey or Stella. Never been them.
Right.
They have never done that.
Never.
No.
As
a matter of fact, I have PayPal'd them because I trust them.
It's funny, and I'm the same. Eloisa and I both have very real doubts about PayPal, but I've both PayPal Griffey and Stella because I trust them absolutely implicitly. I have no reason not to. They have never, ever given out anybody's confidential information.
Right.
Yep.
I don't even mind that they keep flaunting the fact that they have walls and a ceiling.
I know, right?
Just
right.
The luxury.
Bowling over there with their curtains and everything. It's wild.
A microphone.
I know, and a stand.
The whole thing about selling the computer. So yes, sell your computer to somebody else in a country that has no electricity most of the time. Was it? You expect them to ship it abroad? There's going to be a real profit margin on that, isn't there?
Right. And Griffey is like
sell the thing the one thing that they can use to actually earn money.
Well, yes. unlike a lot of the actual grifters in this community who get their computers, laptops, crickets, etc., paid for by their subscribers. That was her computer that she bought with her own money a long time ago. Like myself, she has updated, maintained her own equipment so that she doesn't need to just throw it out and get a new one at someone else's expense. It's wild to me that then other people would judge them for that. Wild. Yeah. But it should show a lot about who they are. But continue digging, folks. Continue digging. Continue. It's hilarious.
I feel at this moment that there can only be one answer to my general feelings of aggression.
What's that, bro?
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so...
Even pigeons seem to have problems with living close to people. Imagine you want to feed a bird and it just throws the food away. Just look at it. It's like it doesn't have a single thought in its head. This one somehow got its feet stuck. I can hear evolution shaking its head in disbelief. How can someone be that stupid? Well, it happens. Yeah, here's pigeons getting sucked into the grain, and they do nothing to avoid it. They don't even seem to realize what exactly is going on.
Beep, beep, motherfuckers. Beep, beep, indeed, my friends. Pearl, I adore you, and I'm so thankful that you found a way to make me not detest that song so much.
Oh dear, it's funny. I do find that song much, much easier to listen to now. It was a bit overplayed. Several people used it. It wasn't just about that. And seriously, from the moment that Kriss sent me the voice note with beep beep motherfuckers on it.
It's so good.
Ah, dear.
We have so much. We're just entertaining each other.
Yeah, the song
is the best.
The song is so much better now that you're seeing it put into the proper context. You know, when it's used correctly, it's not so bad. It's the when it's used in the wrong way, it just is horrible. Just saying.
Yes, checking. I'm now Big Daddy Pidge.
TJ is actually not feeling particularly well. For anybody who's wondering whether she's still down the garage. Should I play that one?
Sure, go right ahead.
Please.
The Jerks are sponsored by TJ's Garage. We're waiting to fulfill all your biker dreams. Here at TJ's Garage, we pride ourselves not only on our extensive collection of the world's finest motorcycles and all the usual biker accessories, but TJ's own brand of unique customer service and southern hospitality. TJ herself has hand-sourced a collection of the finest leather that is crafted into exquisite leather goods and clothing on site by our team of talented tailors and seamstresses. None of that Temu shit. But besides the obvious quality of our collections, we know our customers expect comfort, a little extra touch of sophistication, and most of all, practicality. We cater to all requirements. We'll even dress Grandpa's little biker sidekick, but that's not all. TJ's Garage offers a hand wash and detail service. While you wait, ladies can enjoy their complimentary cup of coffee in comfort while they enjoy the view, or even look at our beautiful local scenery. We also offer bike safety checks and a wide-ranging repairs and renovations service. TJ has assembled an extensive team of mechanics, each personally chosen for their unique talent, qualities, and skills. At least 50% of them can also fix a motorcycle. Do you feel like it's time for a change? Well, why not drive down to TJ's Garage and browse our collection of beautiful motorcycles? Let TJ show you everything she's got. Because every customer is a VIP at TJ's. We're confident that you'll find something you can't wait to ride. Then, like TJ herself, you can tour the highways and enjoy a beautiful sunset with the ride of your dreams. And also a Harley Davidson. TJ's Garage, we're waiting to fulfill all your biker dreams.
That was so much fun.
I just noticed this in the chat. Yeah, Tragedy Pimps Exposed. We did mention this earlier. It's amazing, isn't it? Somebody who based their whole channel on taking the mickey out of Tragedy Pimps is there in Ziggy's chat giving money. Wow. I mean, what can you say?
Well, it tells you where her convictions lie.
Right.
Pun intended.
Did you see Tits' comment? She said she can't wait for her Tits Big Ladies Bra Line commercial.
I do have a surprise coming for you, but it's not that.
Guys, we have been seeing some of your great suggestions for commercials. Just know that these things take time to do. So we're paying attention. We're not ignoring them, but we intend to do some of them. But they're not quick to put those together.
Yes, checking convictions. I did notice that. It seemed to be a a publicity grab on both sides, let's say that. I think that both parts of this conversation were using the other for publicity. They have a very similar mindset, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
Like the sudden appreciation of Candace Owens that is going around. I just find it puzzling. It's sort of like people can only listen to black people and women when they're the right kind of black people and women telling you exactly what you want to hear.
Or the right kind of gay, or the right kind of Native
exactly,
American,
yeah.
or the right kind of
Oh, that conversation. Oof.
you know.
I particularly appreciate, and I'm sure Six Up feels the same way, particularly appreciate somebody who has a friend explaining to me how much more they know.
A friend who's never experienced that life.
I only raised a man to adulthood. What would I know?
And again, it's apples to oranges. Somebody who has lived a gay lifestyle is not essentially a person. It can correlate, but not always. But is not always a person who then becomes a transgender person. Those two issues are often completely separate. You have
one is
gender
sexuality,
identity
and
and
then
you have
the other's
sexuality. Totally different issues. The fact that the person ignored that and kept going and somehow thought they were scoring points when realistically all that they were doing was making themselves look even more ignorant than we already knew they were. I mean,
look, I don't want to infringe on anybody's Second Amendment rights to free speech, but and that's not my mistake for anybody who calls me out. Even in the UK, we know which is first and which is second. Thank you very much.
Right to arm bears, yes. Carry on.
Significant one there. It's just bizarre to me, and the idea that people cannot be self-hating or bigoted against their own identity, either racial, sexual, or gender, is ridiculous. It's like saying there are no misogynists who are married. We all know them. We all know that guy who loves his wife but thinks women are the dumbest thing on the face of the earth. They don't have any control over anything that they do. He doesn't have any respect for women generally, but he is married to one.
They don't have
it's
two
like
brain
that.
cells.
It's like that. No, I'm right with you.
And all while ignoring the fact that their supposed BFF is now a hardcore supporter again of Candace Owens. All you have to do is type Candace Owens same-sex relationship into the Google, and it will give you what can only be described as a plethora of what I would describe as distasteful comments about same-sex relationships. So it was odd to me that that was a thing. But okay, you teach us all the things. I love that for you. It's adorable.
I particularly like the fact that everyone is hardcore defending Mr. Try It in a Small Town song producer. There's evidence of him there with the blackface routine. Yes.
I know, I saw that.
Purely coincidental.
Yeah. I wonder if they have any idea what a town means.
That is a great song that guy did.
Yeah.
I very much doubt they have an idea about a whole lot of things, to be honest.
JPT said we just want to use the bathroom. I told you, sweetie, I don't care where anybody goes. Just please don't get it on my boots. We're good.
I have been using the women's bathroom my whole life. I have never seen another occupant's genitals in all of that time. The
Right?
only genitals I have ever seen in a public bathroom have been those of my offspring when I've changed their nappy. The idea that somebody else, I mean, let me tell you now, you have been sharing your bathroom with transgender people your whole life.
Right.
Just because you didn't know it doesn't mean anything. You are being ridiculous.
All I care
Do you
about.
honestly think that a transgender woman who is pre-surgery or has opted not to have surgery because of the fact that it is hugely complicated, do you honestly think they're going to go in the female bathroom, start stripping down, and piss in the sink? Because what
Right.
do you think is inside the women's bathroom?
It's
Do you
one
not
of the
think if somebody actually wanted to attack women or young girls in the women's bathroom, that the fact that there's a sign that says woman on the door is going to stop him? You don't think there are any
Right.
male cleaners? You
the
don't think there are
actual
any male janitors?
the actual statistics of that happening full stop are incredibly small. Plus, usually the people who have been the ones to actually attack someone of the opposite or anyone for a sexual motive in a bathroom is minute. It is the coincidence of it ever being someone who would identify, I'm not saying it hasn't ever happened, but ever being someone who has been identifying as transgender, transsexual, any of the things, is so minuscule that that's not who does that. Usually, it's the very people that we know about. It's very strange to me that it's again that fear of the unknown, the very thing that these people supposedly know all about with their experience of HIV and something else. Do you forget that there had to be a whole movement of people not only getting rights for our gay and lesbian brothers and sisters, but also the people who had become infected with HIV? Do you not remember that that was a whole thing for
Yeah, some of
decades?
us are there.
And in other countries, it is still ongoing. But for some ungodly reason, they have decided they know everything about everything, and somehow they're being attacked in the bathroom. It's
I want
wild.
to know how far this ridiculousness goes. Are you going to say that no one who is same-sex attracted can use changing facilities or bathroom of the same sex that they are because they're attracted to that sex?
Right.
Where does
All
it
I
stop?
care
Where does this
about.
bullshit stop?
All I care about is the person in the stall next to me. If they will hand me some TP, if I manage to get myself in a situation where I didn't check
Right, girl?
first. Will
Can
you
you
hand me
one
some
with that under
TP
here?
under the thing? That's all. Just that.
Well, we have this nifty little thing in the ladies' room called doors. We can't see in.
Yes, exactly.
Right? That's where it blows my mind. We have separate little cubicles for that exact reason. It doesn't matter what your parts are. You shouldn't be able to see anybody else's parts. You're meant to be in your own little section. It doesn't matter what their parts are. You're meant to be separate. What's happening? Where are you going? I don't understand.
Well, that and someone's gender identity does not make them a predator.
Exactly. The most
100%.
So what?
fundamental
You would
part
rather
of
that
this.
predator was in the men's room with your son?
Yes.
I mean, seriously,
There's
if
no
you're
logic to
worried,
this. It's prejudice. That's prejudice,
take your
plain and
child.
simple.
Take your child to the restroom with you. If you're worried, go with them. I mean, why does this have to be a thing? I just don't understand it. And if you're uncomfortable, like Chit says, don't use public bathrooms. Use yours at home then. But it's so dumb. We're so worried about where somebody relieves themselves at. I mean, they're not doing it in the parking lot. Complain about that.
Yeah, I don't understand it. If they're a predator no matter which bathroom they're in.
Right.
And don't be deluded into thinking that there are no female predators. Statistics show that that is not the case. Right back from Moira Hindley helping Ian Brady get kids into his car, there have always been female predators. There will always be female predators. Proportionately, yes, they are predominantly male predators. But it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You don't know what the biology of a predator or where a predator may be. You are choosing to stigmatize and delegitimize and victimize people for their identity, mostly because you've got a distorted political view about it. And the idea that you think that people want you to conform to their opinion is not the issue. The issue is about people's rights, not whether you conform to opinion or not.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
And Stars makes a great point. She said women are often used in child trafficking to make a child feel safe.
Well, that's
Exactly.
what I was about to say. Someone like Ghislaine Maxwell, there's not exactly a question of whether she did actual deeds to people or not, but I think most people would understand that she had a critical role in enabling the behavior of not one predator, but a whole network. If it was not for her actions, who knows how different that all could have been. That speaks volumes as well. You know, it's not always the people actually actively involved per se in an actual act, but enabling it. It happens very commonly with adults, with children. It's a whole problem.
That is true. There's a huge amount of enabling people who are not necessarily directly involved in the acts, but allow the acts to happen. Recently this week, a former rock legend in his own lifetime, as far as his brain is concerned, a guy who was the lead singer in a UK band called the Lost Prophets, has been in prison for incredibly awful crimes involving children that he committed while he was actually a musician. And somebody attacked him. The last I heard, he was critical. I don't know whether he's managed to pull through or what. But lots of people have said they're surprised it took this long. But the interesting aspect of that is that he took part in these terrible acts and had loads of photographs. But he had two women who were fans of his, who enabled his actions by providing their children. They are not named because obviously naming them would affect the privacy of the children involved. But people forget he was the solitary man involved in all this. Two women assisted him with their own children. So yes, percentage-wise, women are far less likely to be predators, but considerably higher percentage of them are enablers. And that is a problem too. And funnily enough, they'll be the ones who'll be in that bathroom, legitimately as far as you're concerned, and you won't know.
Peggy, would you care to elaborate a little bit? I think your one-word answers are making it hard to understand. It's not that we particularly have a problem, but maybe if you could explain a wee bit better, we might be able to understand, even if we don't agree.
Peggy,
as long as you can be respectful. Yeah.
Peggy, you're not being forced to conform to someone's delusion. You're just not important. Your opinion is yours to have. It doesn't make any difference to somebody else's identity. That may be a hard pill for you to swallow, but it's the truth. And it's funny how it's always men or women. I don't know if you know, but that isn't all that it's about. But it's funny that you only specify the one.
It's almost like you
Right?
feel your own identity is personally threatened. Are you not confident in your own identity that someone changing theirs is
It's going to
concerning
impact
you?
yours. It doesn't. It just doesn't.
Right?
Yeah. JBT puts it perfectly. No, trans men are men and trans women are women. It's not hard.
Peggy, you can't change your DNA. Nature would disagree with you. That may be true in certain mammals, but it's not a universal scientific fact.
And
Might want to go
what
out
does
there and
that
talk
have
to
to
some
do with it
biologists.
anyway? What
Well,
does that have to do with
exactly.
it anyway?
I tell you what your answer. The problem is with your answer. Once you start going down the fundamentally biological route, you then get to the place where you say to gay people and lesbians, yes, but the biological reality is that you are meant to be heterosexual. The biological reality is that you are meant to have sex with the opposite sex and create children. I cannot feed into your delusion that you are meant to be with someone of the same sex. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Right. So if you're a woman who can't reproduce, does that mean you're less of a woman than a woman who has children? Is that what that means, Peggy? Just curious, because that seems to be your rationale, and that doesn't
No one's
follow.
asking you to believe anything, Peggy. You can go and shout at the walls all day. Meanwhile, life moves on without you. Sorry to break the bad news.
And
Oh,
if
hey,
you want to
Carol.
go with like DNA, can we not argue that gender dysphoria would be in your DNA? And you can't change that, right?
See now, Peggy, there you go. And this is why your argument is ridiculous. I have just told you, once you start fixating on biology, then you have a problem because nature intends men and women to breed together. Sorry that you don't want to feed into the delusion that they're sexually attracted to the same sex, happy with people of the same sex, and can create families with people of the same sex. Biology and DNA says different.
Well,
Transgender madness. Is that anything like that reefer madness?
Right.
Do you remember that film?
That's what I was trying to say. And we know how that worked out. So, I mean, go on with your bad self there, Peggy. That's going to work out real well for you, love.
I think you're on the losing end, ma'am. The world moves on without you, no matter how hard you try to sit still.
Yes, Jempe, this really is the only thing that some people have to sit and rage about. It's pitiful. Meanwhile, I will sit here and watch successful men be successful men.
100%.
And I have to sign off now because there are people in this house wanting to get to sleep. It is 1 o'clock in the UK. I wish you well, Peggy. You will have to catch up with modernity at some stage or live in denial, your choice. Rage is never a good thing to have. You are the sort of person who would say all that you said about same-sex relationships in 1981. I was there then, saw it change. I'm here now, seeing it change. You'll catch up with us eventually, or you won't. I don't really care either way. Your opinion changes nothing. Good night.
Night.
Good night, Pearl.
Good night, Pearl. We love you. Cracking says, Pearl, we know you're going to do bad girl shit.
Good night, Pearl. Love you.
That's always what Pearl is up to.
Bad girl shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just for the record as well, before somebody gets all carried away with themselves, most of us here are able to have a conversation about even the difficult, sensitive topics. If all you're going to offer is what can only be described as a soundbite and a catchphrase in order to dog whistle your own point of view, you have proved to the entire chat that you cannot even defend your own argument. That's where it's unfortunate. So I'm sorry, Piggy, but maybe the next time you could try to fulfill yourself with some conversation skills. It might help. You might learn some things. We have to be able to have the conversation, folks. There's no point in just cutting people off.
Right, and you don't get to decide who gets rights and who doesn't. They're equal. They're for everybody. Everybody. No matter how you identify. They're for everybody.
Jamie Howard, it wasn't because she disagreed. It was because she came across very hateful and argumentative. And I won't have that here in this chat. Those aren't the values that we support. She could have done it in a much more respectful way if she had just a difference of opinion, but the words that she was using told me everything I needed to know. If you don't like it, you can go too.
Right, go and watch a Candace Owens video. We know you're hanging out over there. Hey!
I don't use YouTube to pay my bills. None of us do. So it doesn't really matter if you hang out. I actually need to get down soon too.
The block coming in with the definition for transphobia for anyone that needs it.
Right, Jamie Marie, like we can't read. It's wild. I love that.
Yeah,
oh, God loves them.
I think I'm ready to run another commercial and probably get ready to sign off pretty soon. What about y'all?
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I got to get off of here soon too.
Yep, I'm ready.
Let's I cannot find the one I was looking for. Oh, there it is. Just a reminder.
The Jerks are sponsored by 6-Up Window Ninja. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap.
I just wanted to remind everybody that the Jerks are now sponsored.
It's always nice to be appreciated.
I hope everybody has a good night. Thank you for coming.
Happy Monday. We'll see you on Wednesday with a pretty interesting show.
You're embarrassing yourself. Go to bed.
Good night.